NCS Group 1 has just concluded, and we saw way more upsets than I personally expected. We also got to see some absolute dominant performances from potentially one of the best trios in the entire world. Of course, we got a lot to go over in today's video. Real cool studio starts though. Please subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we try our best to upload daily competitive content for you guys. If you guys want to support me even more, the best way to do so is by using code KDOG in the Fortnite item shop. Follow me on my Twitch, link in the description down below, because we are going to be watching all of the group stages and grand finals there as well. Let's just get straight into this video. Alright, so in first place of NA, tying the world record that Peterbot set, we have the trio of Agers, Acorn, and Pollo. Now, to say that this team had a disgusting match history is honestly an understatement. In this tournament, they finished with a 17 elimination second, 2 elimination 17th, 18 elimination 3rd, 19 elimination 5th, and then they concluded the tournament with an 18 elimination win. So those elims right there actually ended up tying Peterbot Code in Ritual's most elims ever in a group stage with 74 total elims. But Pollo's trio was able to pull off the win, while Peter's trio was not. If you're concerned that it took Pollo 5 total matches to be able to win, Pollo was quite literally doing things like free building and going for clips in endgame so that they were not able to get a win so they could play out all of their games. Also, if you take out the one game that they placed 17th in, their average placement in those 4 other total matches was a 2.7. So I really wouldn't be worried about this team at all. When we go over these statistics later as well, Agers and Pollo look like they are just absolutely primed up right now. Agers has also just recently joined Elite, so huge shout out to him. Elite now has Agers, Iamzo, and Pump, so their roster is becoming pretty decent as well. And I completely forgot to explain this earlier, but we are looking for the top 10 trios on this leaderboard right here. There was 5 total matches, and there was 5 game winners, and then the 5 teams after that qualified through consistency. So the trio in second place that was able to win game 4 was Aviv, G-Money, and Rise. Now this team played absolutely out of their minds as well. No matter what you actually currently think about Aviv, Aviv was playing so good today. Their match history was a 12 elimination 3rd, 7 elimination 2nd, 3 elimination 5th, and then a 9 elimination win in the very final game. They were on paper the most consistent team of the entire tournament, getting an average placement of 2.75. This trio is looking like they are most likely going to be contested in grand finals, but if they are somehow able to get uncontested, let's just say this is going to be a scary potential LAN team on NA. Third place, the trio that was able to win game 2 with an 8 elimination win was Taki, Eshu, and Vert. And then in fourth place, we pretty much did have all of our big name trios be able to get a win, because Booga, Threats, and Craze won game 3 with a 13 elimination win. In the 2 previous games to that though, they had a 2 elimination 10th and a 1 elimination 16th place. I literally had people in my chat telling me that like, oh, Booga's trio is washed, this team isn't even going to be able to make grands, how in the world are you going to predict them to make globals? And then I literally said, just wait for this game to happen. They're about to shut all of you guys up and prove you guys wrong, and that is exactly what they did. They were able to get on high ground and get a 13 elimination win. Pretty much all of our game winners on NA today were decided off of the back of high ground, which is pretty much what you can expect out of a format like this. Also, I completely forgot to show it. We did have a win reaction for Taki, Eshu, and Verse, so I want to roll that for you guys real quick.
Copy, you're out.
Fifth place, the trio that was actually able to win game 1 today. A little bit of a surprising game 1 winner, but we had the team of Oliver OG, Blake, and Diego Plays. They got just a 3 elimination win, but a win is a win at the end of the day, and they have officially booked their ticket into grand finals. We also got a win reaction for them as well, so let me roll that clip for you guys.
Just has Medell. I died.
Got it.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice! It's so easy! Come the on! One and done! Get the out!
This wasn't necessarily the most stacked group, but we did still have 5 other very deserving trios make their way into grand finals, like 6th place of Void, Broken, and King on 229, 7th place of Power, Blue, and Zianda on 201, 8th place of Aiden, Carillion, and Hound on 168, 9th place of Core, Gary, and Preston on 168 as well, and then the final team that was able to qualify for grands was 10th place of Liam and Madden. So unfortunately, in 11th place by just 1 singular point, we have the trio of Day, Jack, and Boji, and they are unfortunately not going to be able to qualify, and their last chance to make grands is going to be through the last chance qualifiers. I really do just feel so bad for Day. He ended up tweeting out, "I'm done." they were literally just one AR bullet away from being able to qualify for Grands. We also had some other big names just under them, like 12th place of Sandman 20 in Northern, Violet TK and Larson also not able to make it in 16th place. On a more positive note though, like I said earlier, oh my goodness, Pollo and Agers played out of their minds in this tournament. Looking at the final statistics here, remember all of these trios played a different amount of games, so these stats don't matter too much, but just a little bit of fun to look at. Damage ratio in 8.78 for both Diego plays, and then an 8.48 for Oliver OG. Absolutely insane stuff from them right there, but of course they only ended up playing one game. Damage to players was absolutely dominated by both Agers and Pollo, finishing with over 7,000 damage for both of them. And then the eliminations wasn't even close as well. Agers and Pollo, 32 elims for Pollo, 31 for Agers, and then the third most was Aviv with 13. So yeah, their trio just looked absolutely disgusting today. If we read the rest of the elim leaders, we had like Rise in 4th, Power in 5th, Void in 6th, Day in 7th, Zienda in 8th, Acorn in 9th, and then Vinox in 10th place. Agers also had the most assists in this tournament while getting the second most elims, and then Pollo had the second most assists while getting the most elims, and then Acorn had the third most assists. I really do believe if they had an Uncon Demon's Domain the entire season, they would have a real conversation for looking like the best trio in the entire world. And I mean, hey, even while they were contested, they were able to win the last Div Cup of the season, which is more than a lot of other trios can say. And I also said this in my Twitch stream today, but I really do believe that even though Pollo won 4 straight FNCSs, won an FNCS Global Championship, I think this is the best he has ever looked from an individual skill perspective. Him and Agers are just playing out of their minds right now. NA was pretty calm though. All of the big names that we expected to make it did. Let's move on to the chaos that was EU now. Now in EU, not again, man. ThomasHD has once again failed to qualify for grand finals by one singular spot. We're gonna talk about all of the unfortunate things that led to him missing qual. Let's make sure we highlight all of the people that we are going to see in grand finals first though. Like first place, the trio that I am so happy. They played absolutely amazing today as well, of Trulex, Teeny, and Skavi. Now this team after day 1 of play-ins was in real potential to not even be able to make heats, and their whole year basically would have been over at that point. But they were able to clutch up on day 2, and then in group 1 for them, they were able to actually finish in first place, winning the very final game, getting a 5 elimination win. Also, out of every other team that played 5 total matches, they were the most consistent trio there. Their match history today was a 3 elimination 8th, 7 elimination 8th, 1 elimination 5th, 3 elimination 6th, and a 5 elimination win. So definitely not like the highest elim games, but when you are in a format where winning a game is the only thing that matters, who really cares? Great performance from these guys. I am very excited to see them in grand finals now. Now second place is actually a trio that we did have some doubts and questioning their decisions when they ended up dropping Lucia for Sined, but so far it's ended up working out well for them, being able to qualify for grands as the trio of Wheat, Nafrizi, and Sined. They're able to win game 4 today, getting a 7 elimination win, and this trio also finished with 21 total elims as well. In third place is probably one of the trios that played the best in this entire group, of Vadil, Cringe, and Volko. Now I gotta be real, over these past couple of weeks, they have looked very solid as a trio. In the last Evo Cup, they were able to win a game and also finish super consistently as well. And then today, in the only 2 games that they played, they got a 9 elimination second and then an 11 elimination win. This trio is slowly convincing me that they really do have potential to be able to qualify for LAN this season. I think, of course, though, a lot of their LAN potential is going to come off the back on whether or not they are actually contested in grand finals. And for a team that has been pretty much contested the entire season, that is really going to be something we have to watch out for. But also for this trio, this was the only team we actually got to see a win reaction for, so I'm gonna roll that clip for you guys real quick.
Yeah! Let's go, Digga! This is so cool! Insane, Junge! It's fucking insane! Ja, Digga! It's a swiper! Oh my god, Digga!
Fourth place is our first Greek pro in grand finals of Hyper, Jewel, and Ghost. They were able to win game 3 with a 14 elimination win. So this trio was able to get the highest elim win of the entire day. Super great performance from them. This is also a trio that has been looking very solid recently as well. Huge congratulations to them. And then in 5th place, the team that was able to win game 1, potentially the best team in this entire lobby, are FNCS reigning defending champions. champions of Venya, Pixie, and Marius. Like I just said, they started off this tournament with a 9 elimination win and then instantly got off after that. Still about as high on this trio as you could possibly be. This is either going to be my prediction for winning or coming second place in this grand finals. Now that we got through all of the teams that were able to win games, let's go over the rest of the leaderboard for the most consistent trios that have also booked their ticket into the grand finals, like 6th place of Dinas, Gross, and Frantic. They were the #1 team in consistency by honestly a good margin. They finished with 280 points, and the next closest team to them was on 210. This was the most consistent team out of anybody that played 5 games today that wasn't able to get a win. They got a 7 elimination 4th, 1 elimination 6th, 2 elimination 6th, 6 elimination 4th, and a 6 elimination 2nd in the very final game. I feel like this is always a trio that is kind of in the middle on how good their performances actually are. I don't know necessarily how high I am on them currently as of right now going into grand finals, but I'm very excited to see their potential. 7th place, it is a bad day for you Mr. Savage fans. The trio of Rax, Belusi, and Zangi were able to qualify, finishing with 210 points in 5 total matches. And Belusi has already tweeted out that they are going to the resistance base in grand finals, so that is officially 1 for 1 in the trios that are landing resistance base in qualifying for grands. The other ones that we have to look out for is of course Uppo, Mixon, and Focus, and then obviously Mr. Savage, Chap, and Rezon as well. But for the one trio that a lot of people thought maybe wasn't going to be able to qualify for grands in Rax's trio, they were able to clutch it up in the very final game, pulling off a 9 elimination 3rd, and it's looking like as of right now there is a very high chance that resistance base is going to be triple contested in grand finals. 8th place, honestly a team that was a little bit disappointing today, of Chino, Pablo, and Ferdoxy. This is probably their worst performance of the entire season, even considering that they were contested week 1, and I think they finished in like 14th place that week. If you look at their match history, it's a 6 elimination 7th, 6 elimination 15th, 3 elimination 19th, 9 elimination 2nd, and a 3 elimination 8th. They were the trio that was able to finish with the most elims in this entire tournament, and I don't want to necessarily say I expected more out of them because they were still able to qualify at the end of the day. Ferdoxy even tweeted out, worst Fortnite I've played in a while. Sorry, Supernova and Grands gotta lock in. I'm actually so mad, shouldn't even be qualified. Pablo the truth though, once again, see you in grand finals. I think this could have been potentially a good like little reality check for them because they were probably so high on themselves after winning the last Div Cup, dominating off spawn, finishing 2nd in last grand finals. Everybody needs a little bit of humbling once in a while, and I think this is going to give them even more motivation to want to grind harder leading into grand finals now as well, and I am still very confident in this trio. 10th place was Purohawa, Kaisers, and Makayak. They finished with 198 points in 5 total games, and then the very last trio that was able to qualify for grands through group 1 was 10th place of Loki, Sandguild, and QB on 189 points. Now, as it always seems to be on EU, there is always a couple of big name trios that are just outside that qual range, and unfortunately today in 11th place, just 1 spot off of being able to qualify for grands, always seeming to just be 1 placement off somehow, is the trio of ThomasHD, Sky, and Scroll. Now they finished with 176 points, but the real kicker here in the very annoying and unfortunate thing for this trio is they were only able to load in to 4 out of their 5 total matches. And it's really just insane that in a tournament that is going to determine a lot of these pros rest of the year and potentially future as well, it gets ruined by something that is completely out of their control. Like, of course they still have the last chance qualifiers, and there is still a bit of hope for ThomasHD to be able to make it into grand finals, but for the trio of Sky, Scroll, and Thomas, if they're not able to qualify for grands, where in the world do they even go from here? This was probably one of the favorites to be able to make LAN, and so if they're not even able to qualify for grands, the rest of their year is pretty much over. And the reason why I'm talking about the future of these players is because ThomasHD is an older pro as well. He's already 23 years old. We even got to see him tweet out, time to move to an actual esport. We all know that like the clock is ticking for ThomasHD. It's not like he is a young player like Sky or Scroll who still have their whole futures ahead of them in this game for competing. Thomas is at the latter end of his career, and for a player that is still very capable of being at this globals, them getting screwed out of this has to just be an absolute vibe killer. We did have some other big names though that were also not able to qualify, unfortunately, like 12th place of Howley, Dandapuzzo, and Hizix, 13th place of Sky, Refsguard, and Momsy, and then another one of the really surprising ones to me was 18th place of Combeck, Shark, and Blaha. Now I honestly thought this was another trio that was a lock to be able to qualify for grands. They placed top 10 in both of the Div Cup Cup finals that they were able to play together this season. They've been grinding every single scrim session. We even saw Shark unfortunately say, played every noble and grind like I never did just to not qualify. I hope both Shark's trio and ThomasHD's trio stick together for the last chance qualifiers. I don't think they have any reason to split up, and I think both of those trios do have the capabilities to be able to win a game in last chance. But as we have been saying for so long now, winning a game in last chance is not easy. It's probably more difficult than being able to qualify out of this group right here. So these guys have a lot of pressure going from them into this next week, and it especially sucks if you're a Heat 1 player, because now you have to wait a whole entire week. You have to watch Heat 2, watch Heat 3, and then you will finally be able to play in the last chance qualifiers. If you're curious on how these zones look, I'll put a picture up on the screen right here. Pretty even zones throughout this entire group. Not really super favored towards any one spot of the map. And then here is the final statistics from this tournament as well. Remember, once again, take these with a grain of salt, since not everybody was able to play the same amount of games. For damage ratio, oh my goodness, a 4.03 damage ratio for Venya. Of course, though, that was only in one total match. Still super impressive, though. The most damage to players was Frantic in first with 7,915. Most eliminations was Howley with 13. Assists was Frantic of 36. But hey man, what a day of FNCS groups. Group 1 is finally completed. Let me know what you guys think the biggest upset was in the comment section down below, and how confident you are in some of these trios going into grand finals now. Remember, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we try our best to upload daily competitive content for you guys. If you guys want to support me even more, the best way to do so is by using code KDOG in the Fortnite item shop. YouTube says there's only one of these two videos up on the screen right now, so go check them out if you guys haven't already. Remember to follow me on my Twitch if you guys want to watch any of these tournaments live with me. Thank God for another day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.